Hello everyone and thank you for tuning into TradeChat. My name's Panzer and today we're going to be talking about the class changes for Paladins in patch 7.0. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, remember to rate it thumbs up. Honor, righteousness, and integrity are what make a paladin a paladin. They are holy knights, protectors of the people and defenders of the light. Paladins are always found right in the front lines of battle, standing in between their adversaries and their allies, healing their injured comrades, and delivering justice to their enemies. Being that Paladins have a tank, healing, and DPS spec, all of their specializations are pretty well defined to their role, so most of the changes in Legion will be to bring their gameplay in line with the fantasy of what it is to be a Paladin. Healers will be seeing the most changes since they don't really live up to the in the thick of battle aspect that is part of the lore of a Paladin. A change that all specs of Paladin will notice is the removal of seals. Blizzard said seals didn't really add much to gameplay, so they're doing away with them. Also being removed in Legion are raid-wide buffs, so say goodbye to Blessing of Might and Blessing of Kings because they are getting 86'd. Consecrate is now available for all specs of Paladins. It's a baseline ability for Prot and Holy, and it's a talented ability for Ret. It's an important element for a lot of key abilities and can be talented to do some really cool things, giving it more importance than just AoE damage. Divine Intervention is back, sort of. It's now a holy ability by default, and Rets can also talent into it that will save the Paladin from death and automatically proc their Divine Shield as long as it's not on cooldown or Forbearance is active. Divine Steed summons your holy mount to ride for 3 seconds, increasing your movement speed by 100%. This is usable while indoors or in combat. It will take over as the primary movement speed for all specs of Paladin. Holy and Retribution Paladins will have to talent for it, but Protection Paladins will have it as part of their base kit. The fantasy of a Protection Paladin is that of a devoted defender of the light. They literally stand between good and evil, protecting their allies and bringing justice upon their enemies. Now, the gameplay and the lore are pretty well in line right now, so the majority of the changes we'll see coming in 7.0 are just polish or pruning of filler abilities. One of the first things you'll notice as a Protection Paladin in 7.0 is that you no longer have Holy Power. Holy Power didn't add a whole lot to gameplay, and it pretty much amounted to limiting the use of just a few abilities. Those abilities now have cooldown to reflect the amount of time it would have taken to generate Holy Power. Yeah. For instance, Shield of Righteousness now functions on charges. By default, you can hold 3 charges at a time, each taking 16 seconds to recharge. Shield of Righteousness slams the target with your shield, causing 400% attack power as holy damage and reducing the damage you take for 4.5 seconds. While you're standing in your consecration, Shield of Righteousness effects are increased by 20%. For Protection Spec Paladins, Crusader Strike has been merged into Hammer of the Righteous. Aside from the AoE damage, they were functionally identical, so now Hammer of the Righteous will trigger a wave of light which deals AoE damage while the Paladin is standing in his own consecration. Word of Glory and Flash of Light for Protection has been removed and replaced with Light of the Protector, which calls down the light to instantly heal you for 25% of your missing health, healing you for more if you're standing in your consecration. The Protection Paladin artifact weapons are Oathseeker and Truthguard. Holy Paladin's fantasy is about going above and beyond the call of duty. Holy Paladins can be found in the front lines of battle, healing their injured allies who need them the most. In 7.0, the majority of the class changes being made for Holy Paladins is about reinforcing those themes of honor and bravery and integrity and moving them out of ranged and into melee, where the heart of the battle is taking place and their injured allies need them the most. Holy Paladin's mastery has been significantly changed. In 7.0, Lightbringer will increase healing done to targets closer to you. This means to maximize your healing output on tanks, you'll need to be standing in melee. Try to take some deep breaths, it's gonna be okay. Keep in mind that thematically speaking, it makes a lot of sense that Holy Paladins would be our melee dedicated healers. I mean, they wear heavy, strong plate armor, their fantasy is all about being on the front lines, in the thick of the battle, and they have an arsenal of very powerful spells at their disposal. Spells that cost mana, not Holy Power, because Holy Power is only for Retribution Paladins in 7.0. Another major change is the reworked aura system. Your level 60 talents are now replaced with 3 different auras which you can choose from and then amplify them with an ability called Aura Mastery. The first is Devotion Aura. Allies within 10 yards take 20% reduced damage split over the number of allies in the aura. While Aura Mastery is active, all affected allies gain the full damage reduction. The second is Aura of Sacrifice. While you are above 75% health, 10% of all damage taken by allies within 10 yards is redirected to you. While Aura Mastery is active, 10% of all effective healing you deal is replicated to allies within the aura. The third and final talent is Aura of Mercy. It restores 15% of spell power as health to 3 injured allies within 10 yards every 1 second. While Aura Mastery is active, it heals all allies in the aura instead of 3, and healing is increased to 100%. Light of Dawn has been modified to be a 15-yard frontal cone. It's now an AoE heal that you have to aim at your injured allies if you want to heal them while being relatively close to them to further reinforce that front-of-the-line mentality. Light of the Martyr is a new heal in the Paladin toolkit that is strong, cheap, and an instant cast which heals in exchange for the Paladin's life. Before you ask, yes, you can kill yourself with this heal. Yes, you can. The holy artifact weapon is the Silver Hand. The fantasy of a Retribution Paladin is one who upholds the laws of the divine at any cost. From a thematic standpoint, it doesn't make much sense for Retribution Paladins to be anywhere but up close and personal with their enemies. Crusaders for Justice Ret Pallies are always on the front lines of battle, so in 7.0 we are going to see some adjustments to their kit to clear up any confusion about where they should be located during a fight. A few abilities have been completely removed, like Hammer of Wrath and Exorcism. There are also some brand new abilities like Blades of Justice, which is a new melee ability that will strike an enemy dealing 400% physical damage and generating 2 holy power. You can also generate holy power with Crusader Strike. On that note, holy power is now a Retribution Paladin only thing, and it's kind of important to their mastery. Divine Judgment increases judgment damage and also causes your judgmented target to take increased damage from abilities which spend holy power. The only base abilities which cost holy power are Divine Storm and Templar's Verdict, but other spending abilities can be obtained through talents. Shield of Vengeance is a new defensive ability on a 2-minute cooldown. It absorbs all damage taken for 15 seconds. When the barrier is consumed, it deals back all of that damage to enemies within 8 yards. Think of it like the old eye for an eye on steroids. Retribution Paladins in 7.0 will have a new passive called Retribution. If any raid or party member within 40 yards dies, you gain a 100% increased damage boost for 10 seconds. This not only reinforces the whole theme of being a paladin and specifically a Retribution Paladin, but it also is going to lead to some amazing in-game moments. You know there's going to be some boss kills where this was the first time they killed that boss and the only one alive was a Ret Paladin in a dream. I eagerly await the videos. The Retribution artifact weapon is Ashbringer. To recap everything we just talked about, Paladins are being adjusted to better fit their lore of being front-line badasses, I guess, for lack of better words. Protection Paladins are mostly just having some filler spells removed and having some polish to their kit. Holy Paladins are being moved from range into melee. They don't have much of a choice, I'm sorry. And Retribution Paladins are going to be the only one alive at the end of the boss fight. Always. Not really. I'm sorry. That was a bad recap. I hope you watched the video because that's my recap. I'm sorry. The next one I am going to be doing of this series, Class Changes for 7.0, I believe is Priests. And then after that is Rogues. I'm trying so hard to get these all done in a reasonable amount of time and they take so long to film. And it's like 80 degrees in my office. No, it's not. It's hotter than that. It's probably like 90 degrees in my office without the air conditioner on. So thank you for bearing with me. Yes, I'm wearing an Alliance shirt because nothing says Paladins quite like the Alliance. Also, my hair's in a ponytail. I'm not bald. I promise. Okay, I'm gonna go. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I love you all. You're in my heart. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Wait, tell me about Paladin things in the comments. Goodbye. 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 What a terrible outro. Protectors of the people and defenders of the light. In Legion, we're gonna see a lot of... Are you serious right now? Is there really a fucking fly in here? The light. In Legion, we're gonna see a lot of... How? Like, where did it go? Dick fly.